Big good one here, and eventually we will like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, help promote and rank up my channel. So we're going to be reviewing Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, Knights of the Old Republic. Wait, nah, that's not really the title, but it might as well be. Alright, so the positives on this episode, it's full of Easter eggs, nods, callbacks to the original Star Wars franchise, the victory over the second Death Star, what happens in the absence of power. The Mandalorian must reunite Baby Yoda with his clan. In order to do that, he must find other Mandalorians that may know more than him about the Jedi. But they've all been driven underground, especially since the events of the first season, which leads him to Tatooine, to this guy, Cobb, a man from the expanded universe, parading around in Boba Fett armor. And because Mandalorian code dictates that that stuff's got to be returned, you get this nice little cool Western standoffish thing, but it leads to them brokering a deal with, if he helps them defeat this crate dragon that's been plaguing the town, then he'll give him the armor rightfully. And that in itself leads to all kinds of interesting interactions. But to see how to see how Cobb got this armor, and they show the scenes of how, you know, that his town was taken over, and he returned with that armor from Jawas and took back his town. There was some pretty interesting things in there, and but if you've ever played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, this, it feels like it was ripped straight out of that. And that's kind of cool in itself, like, because you've got the truce with Tusken Raiders, you've got the teaming up with other hunters to take down a crate dragon in this cave, and then you've got them like even going as far as retrieving the crate dragon pearl. So there's all kinds of neat little things in here, and there is one hell of a cameo at the end that would probably get you excited for the rest of the season. To me, a lot of this stuff just felt so strongly familiar, though. I mean, there was great acting, great production value, some really awesome action and use of the jetpacks, and that famous Boba Fett missile on his jetpack. So there's some really cool things in here. And Timothy Olyphant, if that's how you pronounce his name, awesome actor. So this was a pretty interesting episode overall. But let's go ahead and move into the personal bias section. My personal bias on this one is if you actually played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, then this feels too familiar, because this feels like it was ripped straight out of the game. And while that's cool, it's not a new experience. It plays out very much like things did in the game. It's got most of the elements there, and it's cool, but at the same time, like, this episode has a lot in it that just makes me feel like it's very safe. It's not doing something new or exciting. It's just still trying to pay tribute to that Star Wars nostalgia. Anyways, that's my personal bias for people that played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This is going to be cool for you, people that haven't played it. This is probably going to be really exciting for you, because you're not at all familiar with it. And those that are familiar with it, they're going to feel like this is a pretty cool, awesome nod. But also at the same time, it makes it where it's not anything new or refreshing. And for those that haven't played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the first game, you're probably going to feel like this is just absolute genius, that it's really extraordinary and exciting. So there's going to be different reactions on that front. Anyways, let's move into the worst aspects about the episode. So the worst stuff about this episode really is the only thing I could say about the story itself, other than the fact that this relies far too much on nostalgia and giving us things that we've already seen before, and doing all this other stuff that pays tribute to that. It's just, it doesn't feel like it's its own thing still. So aside from that, when Cobb gets that armor, goes back to take his town, I felt like he ran all those guys off way too easy because he only killed a few of them. There were a whole bunch there, and most of them decided to run over this one guy. Now, granted, they could have recognized the helmet and thought it was Boba Fett. Uh, they could have, just had that reaction because it's a Mandalorian, but still, you think they wouldn't want to give up that sweet luxury that they had, owning a whole town, and I guess the people within it and everything that comes with that. So you wouldn't think it'd be that easy, but apparently it was. Another thing is that this episode is very much monster of the week kind of thing. The Mandalorian has this sense of doing these standalone stories that aren't really heavily tied together or really like intriguingly weaved together. They kind of just more standalone stuff. And while that's cool, that's a nice little vacation until you get to the main stuff. I also feel like it should do a better job of tying in things together. Now, granted, with that final cameo, this may really tie in heavily to the rest of the season, so this may not all be in for nothing, but still, there were ways that he could have just got that armor straight up from Cobb without going through all this stuff, and then you show us while Boba Fett is after him because he wants his armor back. And that was really awesome cameo in the end. Maybe the rest of that, maybe it'll heavily tie into the rest of the season over the course of several episodes, not just like a second standalone episode to follow up on that. But this episode, it was just too much of stuff I've already had, too much of stuff I've already seen. It relies heavily on nostalgia. It's really good. It doesn't have many faults, but it doesn't do anything new or refreshing. It's pretty great all around, acting, cinematography, action, all that. But ultimately, it's just a very safe episode and didn't do nothing to really launch the season where it's like you're clamoring for more episodes. But I'll be reviewing this every week, so let me know your thoughts and opinions on all this stuff. I'd give it a 7 out of 10, just barely, because I kind of want to give it a 6 because it's just likable. It didn't do anything amazing. However, it gave me Knights of the Old Republic vibes, but that's only because it pretty much ripped stuff straight from the game, but that was cool. 7 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I thought it was a likable episode. Not a bad one. Not a great one. Likable. Stay awesome. Rock on.